In the beginning there was only darkness, te pōnui, te pōroa, the great night, the long night. At last, in the void of empty space, a glow appeared. The moon and the sun sprang forth, and the heavens were made light. Then did Ranginui, the Sky Father, live with Papatuanuku, the Earth Mother. But as the two clung together, their offspring lived in darkness. The sky lay upon the earth, and light had not come between them. Their children were vexed that they could not see, and argued amongst themselves as to how night and day might be made manifest. The fierce tūmatoenga atua of war urged that they kill their parents, but Tane Mahuta, atua of the forests, counselled that they separate their father Ranginui from their mother Papatuanuku, and in that way achieve their object. Tane's wisdom prevailed, and in turn each of the children struggled mightily to prize the sky from the earth. Rongo, atua of cultivated food, and Tangaroa, atua of the sea, did all they could, and the belligerent tūmatoenga cut and hacked, but to no avail. Finally it was Tane Mahuta thrust his mighty feet and gradually lifted the anguished Ranginui away from the agonized Papatuanuku. So was night distinguished from day. Tawhiri atua of wind and storm, had opposed his brothers in the venture, and followed his father to the realm above. From there he swept down in fury to lash the trees of Tane Mahuta until, uprooted, they fell in disarray. He tore his eyes out, crushed them, and threw them into the heavens. His eyes became known as the cluster of stars named Matariki, the eyes of the atua Tawhiri. Why is Matariki important? Traditionally, depending on the visibility of Matariki, if the stars were bright, it indicated a warm season and thus a more productive crop. It was also seen as an important time for family to gather and reflect on the past and the future. How is Matariki celebrated? Matariki is celebrated with education, remembrance, and the planting of new trees and crops, signalling new beginnings. Matariki was the optimum time for new harvests and ceremonial offerings to the land-based atua, rongo, uenuku, and whiro to ensure good crops for the coming year. It was also seen as a perfect time to learn about the land we live on, to remember our ancestors who have passed from this world to the next, and the legacy and knowledge they have left behind. Are all iwi involved in the celebrations? All iwi Maori tribes celebrate Matariki, although they may celebrate at different times. For some tribes, celebrations are held when Matariki is first seen in the dawn sky. For others, it is celebrated after the full moon rises, and for others, the dawn of the new moon. Matariki and arts. Reading from the vast volumes of stars was a way of preserving history, knowledge, culture, and maintaining ancient practices. The time of Matariki was a celebration in all customs and beliefs, so the coming together of family and friends was a time to share legends, history, ancestral stories and genealogy, arts and crafts, music and performances, and of course, the harvest. Matariki and celestial navigators or astronomers. Maori use the stars as a way to calculate time and earth seasons, to navigate the oceans, to preserve ancient knowledge and histories, to maintain customary practices, and inspire action and achievement. Matariki is a signal for seasonal celebration and a key navigational beacon for ocean voyages. The time of Matariki brings together family to share and learn the stories and knowledge that the stars hold. There are many legends that are associated with Matariki, and not only in New Zealand, but the Pacific and worldwide. It is a time to understand the history and the importance of the stars for Maori, not only in the past, but in everyday life. Matariki and conservation. For Maori as farmers, the land that they live on is one of the most important aspects of life. Preserving their way of life depended on the treatment of the land and all things living on and within it. This outlook is paramount to their survival and was reflected and filtered through to many other aspects of Maori culture. The Matariki constellation dictated the size of the harvest, so it was very important for Maori to prepare the land as best they could. Matariki was a time for everyone to learn about the trees, crops, and the environment around them. Therefore, the land, its conservation and care is at the forefront of Matariki celebrations. Matariki and food and hospitality. When Matariki was sighted, ceremonial offerings of food were planted for the atua, uenuku, and whiro to ensure a good harvest for the coming year. The timing of Matariki fell at the end of a harvest and food stores were full. Meat, fruits, herbs and vegetables had been gathered and preserved, and the migration of certain fish ensured a bounty of feasts. Matariki was seen as a time to gather together and visit family and friends to share in the gifts that the land and the sea provided for Maori. Matariki and horticulture. Matariki falls in the winter months when the land is at its most inactive. This was an ideal time to learn about the land and the atua, rongo, uenuku and whiro. It also was a time heading towards spring, so plans for the planting of crops for the spring garden were carried out. For Maori, the land was held with the utmost respect. How the land was treated in turn dictated how Maori would be treated living on and amongst it. So at this time, the planting of traditional plants, ceremonies to appease land atua, and nurturing native New Zealand plants were things that Maori did. Matariki and competition. Competitiveness is a dominant factor in Maori culture, and the time of Matariki emphasises this. Matariki signals a time of coming together of family and friends to share in food, festivities and fun. Families gathered to perform songs and haka, weave, to carve, prepare food delicacies, hunt and fish. While all this is done for the celebrations and entertainment, there is always an underlying sense of competition to be able to outsing and outperform peers, to catch the biggest fish or prepare the tastiest meal. Matariki provides a time when we can show off our talents and allows for recognition and achievement and success.